I would. The goals that he terrorises defence with his speed, but to score the sort of goals that he's been scoring as well. Yeah, but the thing about football, it isn't about one player. We do now deal with the celebrity of a player, and that's the way the world is. Nothing against that, but it's the team, and I'm not sure that they'll keep England out. I think that'll be Harry Kane against Hugo Lloris. There's a North London ring about that, isn't it? So I think probably there will be goals from both teams, and that hasn't happened so often in this World Cup. But I think unless both teams sort of like so respect each other, it becomes a bit of a chess match. But no, it's really exciting, and the word that's always used about Gareth Southgate so unfairly is cautious. We've got a cricket team that hits 500 runs in a day, and a football team that's the top scorers in the World Cup. It's a great time for English sport, but you do want a trophy at the end of it. 16 games, all the cream is rising to the top, isn't it? But all the big teams that have got through have had moments early in the game where they could have conceded. Christian Pulisic for the USA, for example, a very early chance. So, yeah, I think that is the concern. But it was great. I don't know how goalkeepers repel shots hit that hard and knock it back, swat it back like he did, but he did. And yeah, keeping clean sheets has been a good trait for England as well. But it'll be tough to shut out France. If they do, we'll be talking about another round. But I think you want to do it the way where you can say we're trail through. Even 66, people still say, well, it was all at Wembley. The games weren't all supposed to be at Wembley, actually. They sort of tweaked the semi-final, I think, to get it there. So that's always been one little negative against the wonderful achievement of winning the World Cup. So I don't know, I'm messing about with numbers, things 66, 22, is there a connection there? That might be saved for December the 18th. Fingers crossed. All England fans were looking at the end was Kyle Walker to make sure he got through 90 minutes, and obviously he has played against Mbappé before. The last time England played France, Mbappé played, I think his fourth or fifth cap, he was 18 years old, and Kyle came on in the second half, so I don't know quite how much confrontation they had. But they're not just Mbappé. One thing I have following a bit of, I haven't done a France game yet, but without Benzema, they're actually stronger as a group. He came in as obviously a wonderful season, a wonderful year that he's had. He came back into the team after the problems that kept him out. But it's sort of dominated the dressing room a little bit. I'm sure the boys in the studio will understand that. But because he's not available now, the group's got stronger. And Griezmann, who is a player who can be cold sometimes, but he's been really hot because he's felt the extra responsibility's gone on his shoulders, and he's playing very well. So, as I say, Mbappé will be the one to individually stop, and Olivier Giroud defies time. We've got a lot of old players doing pretty well in this tournament, haven't we? And so he's got 52 goals and he's broken the record. Harry's got 52 goals and he's one behind our record. So yeah, a lot for the commentators to grasp statistically. Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing for England, really. I mean, he's come on the scene in the last 18 months and now looks like first name on the team sheet, and what that releases him to play a bit further forward, and obviously he made Hendo's goal as well. So, but yeah, it's going to be hard. He can't be left out. So it's going to be a hard team to pick. Amazing influence, I think, is football. That's what's been questioned, really. It's a bit unfair. What he's always had is massive contribution as a person, helps other players. You've heard Jude Bellingham talking about how he's helped him, but he's not the only one. Hendo will help anybody, but he helped himself last night, and I think that was his first goal for club or country in 2022. It finally arrived, but he'd missed some of the season with injury before in the earlier months. But I don't recall him getting. It was a Brian Robson-like goal from coming late into the box and recognising the opportunity. And we know he's a great athlete, and that athleticism got him there, which other players might not have been able to do. And well done, Gareth Southgate, for sticking with him and recognising the influence that he has, not just as a person, but as a player. He's had his assists and he plays for the team, and I must say that kind of football that he's been playing, coming deep, it's what we've seen now from him for a couple of years. But he's a striker, and if you don't score, you don't sleep, really. And he slept much better last night. And I think that was his 7th goal in the World Cup, and from 7 shots on target he then actually had a shot that was saved, so that statistic's not as pure as it was when he scored, but great for him. And you could see the joy for everybody on the dugout, with the staff, with Gareth and all the other players. They knew what it meant for Harry, and it was a wonderful moment right on the last kick of the first half, and it sort of sent Senegal on their way, really.